Today on the program we are using a new to me malt. North Star Pils comes to us from our good friends at BSG. Donated this malt so we can give it a try. What is the beer that showcases the malt? A Helles, I thought, and it's an annual maker for me for sure, and I'm on my third lager of the year, so I have plenty of yeast. I harvested yeast from Imperial Global and had a nice centimeter or so of yeast in the bottom of a quart jar, and I decided to make a starter anyway. And I also have, if you can see yonder, I have the boil going. I think you can see some steam out there. I don't know how far we are into it, but I basically just did half a pound of Munich and half a pound of Carapils. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. I wrote it down in the Northern Brewer guys fetched it for me. 9 pounds of this North Star, 1 ounce of German Hallertau for bittering, so just a low charge on that, and we're just gonna boil it, chill it, pitch the yeast, see what happens. Well, folks, you can see she's about 1050, basically, exactly, maybe 1051. All went well. Got 5 gallons. Man, that is a lot of yeast. I mean, I probably wouldn't have needed to make a starter, but it would just make it get going faster. But that's a lot of yeast in there, plus the starter. So, should be set, aerated with pure oxygen. I think it was like 58 degrees or something. I think that room is more like 50 degrees, so it'll cool down and probably be fermenting in the lower to mid 50s. But yeah. Everything went well. Nice looking color, hopefully, and we'll see how she goes. So here we are the next morning. It was fermenting last night, but as you can see, it's pretty chilly. I might have put a few shirts over it. I do have it off the floor, but it's fermenting, which we always appreciate. Pretty cold though, so I don't remember the bottom end of the temperature range, but that would be about it. So I think for this global strain, maybe I'll look it up, but put a couple shirts over it, maybe it'll warm it up. I can also pull it out into the main basement where it's warmer than that. Welcome to the backyard, everyone. Welcome to Chip.
Dude, that is super fizzy.
Fizzy?
Yeah.
Oh,
fizzy. In a good way, like fizzy.
I thought you were gonna say super clear.
Well, I mean, it's that too. But look at these bubbles.
I don't know. It's just carbonated.
I don't know, maybe
yeah,
this
it is.
glass has more nucleation sites. Than
I don't know. So
look, awesome.
Mine on that.
It's like fractals, bro.
I don't know. Maybe it's got weird laser etching. Okay, so this is the Helles North Star Pils. We'll get into that in a minute. It finished at 1.006. Brewed on January 1st. Kegged 2 weeks later. Been sort of lagering in my fridge. It is February 27th. So actually, it's almost 2 months old. And
happy birthday.
What do you think?
It's good, man. You've got your lager game kind of flipped and dialed in.
Well, so there's no off flavors,
No.
which is
None.
a challenge with these lager yeasts. I did have a off flavor in the New Zealand Pils that I was able to correct, and then that beer was like way better. I mean, oh my god, just so much better. And this beer is nice out of the gate. Now I think for this one, I think I made a yeast starter from a washed yeast, so I already have more yeast to begin with. So the thing about the North Star Pils, I don't know if you went and read, or I copied and pasted something. So I have it written down, but do you agree with some of the verbiage? I mean, what's your take on how this beer drinks compared to, if you can imagine it, with the different Pils? not to put you on the
Yeah,
spot.
I don't know. I mean, we've talked about this several times, and like, I talked to Nico Tonks at Fair State because they brewed that North Star Pills, and
That's true.
I feel like it's just this like more kind of like grainy. I don't know why I want to call it farmy, but
Well, that's
like
interesting.
it just like more hay, more grain. It doesn't quite have that like that really clear, clean pills flavor that you know from like a continental pills. It does have this more like just rustic, almost for lack of a better word, more biscuity than this like
Well,
grainy. And that's
now-
all that's no. You had some Carahel and
So there's also, that's a good point. I have a half pound of Carob Hills and half a pound of Munich.
okay.
And the Munich obviously will do a little sweetness, but what they say is it's lower color
It tastes very dry.
and it's lower modification. So I did do a step mash, honey and sweetbread, aroma notes of hay and nutty character. So this is from Rahr. Compared to their Rahr premium pills, lower in color and modification, more sweet attributes than grainy and cracker character of the premium pills. So I think of the Barca pills, because that one to me is sweeter
Yeah.
than some other Wireman pills, malts.
That's kind of pills plus, right? A little bit, almost that Barca.
What do you mean by pills
Just
plus?
it's like pills, but it's got some more character,
Well,
rounding it out a little bit.
I mean, if more character means that it's maybe a little sweeter, and maybe also like, I think it might have a slightly higher yield too.
Interesting to think of sweet, but it's still dry. Like how a malt can actually taste sweet, but it's not
Well, and this beer is-
fermentable sugar sweet. It's just like the grain itself, the malt flavor.
I guess because this beer is 1.006.
Yeah, and it drinks it.
It-
It's really dry.
Well, see, now I think now, I mean, you would have to, of course, do a side-by-side and try to make the same beer with a different malt, but I feel like a different malt beer could drink drier without that sweet character. I mean, it's suggestive, and sometimes you read something and you go like, oh, yeah, it does have a honey and a sweet bread.
Yeah.
No.
With the Cara pills and the Munich though, I still feel like it drinks drier than something having even that small bit of that.
Okay.
It's nice. It's really nice.
Well, and so if
I'm
you...
sure you're slamming it.
Yeah, well, no.
Not like here. I mean, in general, having
No,
it on tap.
it's a favorite or with friends
This-
and, they'll run my backyard fires
This
and
seems like a
whatnot.
Dono
Yeah, I mean, it's
session beer.
I mean, thank you to BSG for supplying the malt and giving me a chance to try this. And I guess then you think it works well in this beer. It would work in a Maibach, perhaps, unless
Yeah,
it would be like
for real.
too malty. But
No.
you could also...
I actually just tasted it. My Brad at work did a 10-gallon batch of my Bach with the North Star pills, and it has that very golden, Grammy, honey, almost kind of maltiness to it. It's very nice. I had a
Not too sweet.
lagered secondary sample, so it wasn't carbonated, but it had all the like bells and whistles you'd want out of a Maibach for sure.
Or you could also, I suppose, hop this beer heavily. In fact, I just thought of this right now, but I want to probably make my India Pale Lager, and maybe I could use some of this malt in that beer with a big hop charge, and then that would be a balance
Bird versus fish.
to the. Just maybe, I mean,
Just
one
an
of big
IPA.
India Pale Lager.
Well, I guess
Well,
Bird versus fish is a specific hop
That was
regimen
like-
to an IPA.
Yeah, Chinook and Falconer's Flight or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice malt. I think it maybe is, like they say, maybe a little sweeter than the regular one, and maybe more than like some continental ones. What's up, Bird?
More American. You know how American, you throw the word American on anything, it just means just a little bigger.
All right, we got one more tasting note to do, but if you're interested in this type of malt, if you do like Barca pills, and it's probably cheaper, it's U.S.
Domestic,
non-imported, so I mean, it's probably cheaper if you want to give it a try. Otherwise, next one's up, and catch you later.
Point to the North Star.